Stefanie Powers is an American film and television actress best known for her role as Jennifer Hart in the 1980s television series Heart to Heart. Early life: Powers was born Stefanie Zofia Paul in Hollywood, California. Her parents divorced during her childhood. Powers was estranged from her father, whom she barely references and whose name is never mentioned in her memoir, One from the Heart, in which she refers to the tension and unhappiness created by my father's presence. She remained extremely close throughout her life to her Polish mother, Juliana Demetria. She has a brother, Jeffrey Julian Paul, as well as a half-sister. Powers was a cheerleader at Hollywood High School. One of her schoolmates was Nancy Sinatra. In 1965, using the alias Taffy Paul, she made an obscure independent film, The Young Sinner. Career: Powers appeared in several motion pictures in the early 1960s in secondary roles such as the thriller Experiment in Terror, which starred Glenn Ford and Lee Remick, the comedy If a Man Answers with Sandra Dee and Bobby Darin, and in McLintock, starring John Wayne and Maureen O'Hara. She played a schoolgirl in Tammy Tell Me True and Bunny, the police chief's daughter, in Palm Springs Weekend. She appeared in the 1962 hospital melodrama The Interns and its sequel The New Interns in 1964. In 1965 she played opposite Tallulah Bankhead in Die, My Darling. In 1966 her tempestuous good looks led to a starring role as April Dancer in the short-lived NBC television spy thriller series The Girl from UNCLE, a spin-off of The Man from UNCLE. Shortly after the series' debut, she was featured on the cover of TV Guide. The article mentions her 117-pound frame is kept supple with 11 minutes of Royal Canadian Air Force exercises every morning. Unlike her fellow UNCLE agents, the lady like April is not required to kill the bad guys. Her feminine charms serve as the bait, while her partner Noel Harrison provides the fireworks. Dancer was written as a demure, passive figure instead of an action heroine who would be like an American version of the Avengers Emma Peel. The series lasted for only one season, airing from September 16, 1966 to April 11, 1967. In 1967 she appeared in Warning Shot with David Janssen. Her 1970s films include The Boatniks and Herbie Rides Again. She was a guest star on the Robert Wagner series It Takes a Thief in 1970. The two would go on to co-star in the popular Heart to Heart series 9 years later. Prior to the Heart to Heart success, she starred in the Feather and Further Gang as Tony Feather Danton, a successful lawyer, whose father, Harry Danton, was a smooth-talking ex-con man. It ran for a half-season. Guest roles on other popular TV shows include McCloud, The Mod Squad, Kung Fu, The Rockford Files, Three for the Road, The $6 Million Man and the Bionic Woman, and Macmillan and Wife. These shows were the ones that Powers appeared, long after she signed a contract with Universal Studios in 1970. Coincidentally, her longtime friend and Heart to Heart series star, Wagner, signed up a contract with Universal, but did not guest star on more shows than Powers did. Her role as stripper Dottie Del Mar in 1979's Escape to Athena with Roger Moore turned out to be Powers' last theatrical film to date. Powers became widely known as a television star for her role opposite Robert Wagner as a married pair of amateur sleuths in the 1979-84 series Heart to Heart, for which she received 2 Emmy and 5 Golden Globe Award Best Television Actress nominations. In 1984 she starred in the miniseries Mistral's Daughter, based on Judith Krontz's novel. In the 1990s Powers and Wagner reunited to make 8 Heart to Heart made-for-TV 2-hour movies. In 1985 Powers starred as twins who swapped places, leading to dire consequences in the 2-part made-for-TV movie Deceptions. She starred briefly in a 1991 London musical, Matador, which closed prematurely due to the sharp drop in tourism during the Persian Gulf War. She was awarded the Sarah Siddons Award in 1993 for her stage performance in Love Letters. In 1996 she toured as Margot Channing in a production of All About Eve, which was slated to go to New York in hopes of a Broadway revival, which did not materialize. She toured the United Kingdom in 2002 playing Anna Leon Owens in a revival of The King and I. She toured the US in 2004 and 2005 in that role. Powers released her debut CD in 2003, titled, On the Same Page. The album features selections from the classic Great American Songbook era. Since 2006 she has been the U.S. location presenter on the long-running Through the Keyhole panel show. On April 30, 2008 she was reunited with Robert Wagner for the filming of a special heart-to-heart edition of the BBC's The Graham Norton Show. On March 12, 2011, she received the Steiger Award for Accomplishment in the Arts. Indiana, 2000-01 She starred in the BBC's popular long-running British soap opera Doctors as Jane Powers, a wealthy businesswoman, and the mother of Dr. Caroline Powers. Jane Powers, after being widowed, was due to marry her much younger fiancé copyright David Wilde, but in the lead-up to the wedding her daughter and fiancé copyright David fell in love and ran off together. Powers took part in the 11th series of I'm a Celebrity. Get Me Out of Here, but was the first celebrity to be eliminated on November 25, 2011. Powers started a tour of Looped, a play about her old co-star Talia Bankhead, in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, on February 26, 2013, after Valerie Harper withdrew due to health problems. Stefanie Powers has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame at 6778 Hollywood Boulevard. Personal life: Powers was married to actor Gary Lockwood between 1966 and 1972. Her relationship with actor William Holden led to their joint involvement with wildlife conservation. He died in 1981. By the following year, Powers was the founder-president of the William Holden Wildlife Foundation and a director of the Mount Kenya Game Ranch and Wildlife Conservancy in Nanyuki, Kenya. In the United States, she works with both the Cincinnati and Atlanta zoos. She devotes a great deal of time to the cause and is an international guest speaker on wildlife preservation. Powers told BBC Radio 4's Broadcasting House program that she campaigned for Robert F. Kennedy during his 1968 presidential campaign. On April 1, 1993 she married Patrick Howard de la Chesnace. The couple divorced in 1999. Powers has no children. A polo player, she was among the first foreign members of the Royal County of Berkshire Polo Club in England, whose membership includes HRH the Prince of Wales. In 2005, she competed in the Jules United Kingdom National Women's Championships at Ascot. Cancer battle: in November 2008, Powers, who was a smoker for 20 years, was diagnosed with alveolar carcinoma, a form of lung cancer. She had surgery to remove part of her right lung on January 29, 2009, the same month her mother died of pneumonia, aged 96, in Los Angeles. Filmography, references. External links: Stefanie Powers' official website, Stefanie Powers on Twitter.